the crazy part is I don't feel that he's disagreeing with you, Ben, but adding value. What value is he adding? Okay, you're talking about crypto, Glenn.
We're gonna get into this. We're gonna break it down and we're gonna dissect it. I got into a little bit of a spat with some hack here on YouTube, myself, this individual, and his sucker ass mods, and we're gonna kind of go into this and I'm gonna break this down for you all. But before we get into that, thank you all for tuning in to another video. I appreciate you. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you are here with me. And again, I do appreciate it. We'll take a quick look at the markets here just as soon as we go through this. I mean, it's not really, actually, no, we can just go ahead and do that right now. Let's see. Bitcoin currently sitting at 3,804 cents. It's not really doing anything too unique. It's pretty much just doing the same yo-yo effect that it's been doing. XRP's down 0.83%. It's down to 37. So, I mean, it's really hovering around that 37, 40 cent mark. It's been doing that for the last couple of days. Overall, the whole entire market is just doing this huge yo-yo thing. We really haven't had a tremendous breakout to the downside or the upside. We were around 3,700 a couple days ago, and now we're back up around 38. Currently trading a little bit sideways, and there's not really too much price action going on in the market. It's actually putting a little bit of stress on short-term buys and longs, and that kind of coincides with what today's video is about. So let's go ahead, and I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time here, so let's go ahead and get right into this. So a couple days ago, before the holiday, I was sitting in a live stream for an individual, Ben Trader or whatever his name is, and just like the majority of you, especially those of you that own YouTube channels, and I just want to say thank you to the individuals who are subscribing to this channel. Really appreciate it. We couldn't see the growth that we're seeing without you guys being somewhat of a new channel, so again, I appreciate that. So like many of you, if you own a YouTube channel or if you're just invested in cryptocurrencies, you tune in to see what the market, what public sentiment is about the market. Now, whether you take this information as the gospel or you use it as a foundation to do your own research, you probably still tune in and just kind of get a general sense for, what people are saying. And I get that. Sometimes you may be doing things, working on a car, cleaning the house, whatever. You just like that white noise in the background. So, doing how I normally do, jumped into a couple live streams to see what market sentiment is, and I came across this individual's channel, Ben Trader, and I've been in his live streams before, and the general sentiment or the general tone of his streams is the market's crashing, sell all your Bitcoin, learn how to do what we do. It's the majority is just predicated on spreading fear in the market and telling people that whatever strategies you're using are complete failures, so long as if they are not trading on leverage. Never once does he go in to tell these people the dangers of trading on leverage, how you can get absolutely wrecked, how you can lose your entire cryptocurrency, more specifically Bitcoin, because again, that's what you're trading on leverage. You can do some on Tron, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, various other coins, but not really a whole lot compared to how many coins are currently out there. So he never lets you know the downside to trading leverage. He just says, hey, if you're holding long term, if you're not spot trading, or if you're not swing trading, if you're not using leverage, then you're going to end up losing money long term. And if you've been in his streams, this entire stage is set so that he can try and pitch you a course that will teach you how to trade on margin, give or take. Maybe even teach you how to do a little bit of swing trading, all of which is free information if you know where to look. It's not very hard, and he tries to peddle this pitiful little $150 course. I will say this. Do I think margin trading can be a useful tool? Absolutely. However, in the wrong hands, in inexperienced hands, hell, even in the hands of some experienced traders, you're going to lose money. You can. The age-old saying is the more your money goes in and out of the market, the greater chance you have of losing it. Now, I get why a lot of people say, some people say technical analysis doesn't work in cryptocurrency. Some people say technical analysis does work in cryptocurrency. I will say it can give you a fair indication of where the market may be heading. It's better than just jumping in the market and just trading blind or going off gut emotion or, emotional trading. Hell, you never want to do that. But do I think it is surefire? Absolutely not. And I think if you're at least trying to use technical analysis and you get an indication for where the market is going, if you're using margin trading, sure, it can be helpful, but not. I'd say probably 7 times out of 10 it's going to be more dangerous than it is going to be helpful, because if you see that your position is starting to go down, you're probably going to close it. You're going to jump out the market, and then shortly after you do that, then you'll probably see the market going the other way, which you could have actually made some money. So I mean, there's a lot of checks and balances that have to be put in place. You have to be willing to risk a certain amount of your investment. Anytime that you lose 50% of your investment, you've got to get 200x, I believe they say it is, gain just to break even. And I'll fact check myself on that here in just a moment. But so using the right hands, yes, it can be successful. It can help. But if you're not trained and if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually lose a lot of money. There's a lot of guys who are trained and they still lose a lot of money. I mean, it's never a surefire way. Okay. So this individual was basically trying to shame everyone who wasn't trading on margin and who wasn't using, leverage trading. And I had just jumped in the stream and I said, you know what? I understand what you're saying. However, I don't think we should be discounting the benefits of buying and holding. And to that, this individual, his mods, and you can go back and you can look on the video. I mean, the title of it's right here. You can look it up if he hasn't deleted it. And they were basically just saying, that's terrible. Why would you do that? That's not a plausible investment strategy. And I said, wait a damn minute. If everything that is in the crypto market, the way people trade in the crypto market, if that's derived from stock market trading, buying and holding has shown us countless times over and over and over again that it can be a very plausible investment strategy. Think about people who had stocks in 2008 and who, even in the midst of the financial recession, and I'm talking about all the cards coming down, held, didn't sell, which is a very, very difficult thing to do because you never know where this thing's going to bottom out. But at the same time, I believe the people who like trading stocks, the people who do not invest more than they can stand to lose, when you see things are going down, you're really not that worried about it because this isn't money that you needed in the next 5 minutes anyway. So the people who adopted this investment philosophy in 2008 with traditional stocks, even after the financial collapse was going down, they were okay. They saw that it was going down, and honestly, they didn't panic. So what happens? 2008 happens, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13. You start to see some increases in the market, some contractions in the market, some increases in the market, some more contractions in the market, because it's a market and that's what markets do. Fast forward to 2018, we see some of the best highs, if not the greatest high in the Dow Jones we've ever seen. Of course, granted, now at the time of the recording of this video, we're seeing some of the worst selling days that the stock market has seen in a very, very long time, and some of the worst trading days the stock market has ever seen. But at this point, if you held from 08 all the way to 2018, and even if you added to your position in between, you're probably seeing significant gains. Why? Because you held through the bear market. You probably increased your position when stocks were dirt cheap, and you've probably just been riding the swings in 2018. And hopefully, again, at the time of this recording, you may have sold off at the top and, took profits. So I'm saying this to these individuals. I'm saying, hey, if these people can use this strategy in the stock market and it's shown to be very fruitful for them, why would we believe that the crypto market would be any different? Case in point. And I want to look something up here. If we take a look at prices of crypto from 10 years ago. Okay, we'll just bring this over here. Crap, it doesn't go all the way back out to 2008. No biggie. Let's go at the absolute earliest, April 2013. Right, so that's 5 years ago. Bitcoin in itself was $135. We know the price of Bitcoin today is well over, oops, didn't want to do that. Well over $135. Now, this isn't rocket science. This is more so of a non-epiphany. Anyone who's looked at this before, anyone who's got common sense knows the point that I'm trying to make. The price today currently is, or has been today, at least $3,857.70. So if you bought in April of 2013 here and you just held it and now you're here, guess what? You're still in the profit zone. The people who are majority freaking out are the people who probably bought at the top 15,000, 20,000, 12,000. They FOMO'd in. Yeah, now you have to wait until the market rebounds in order to try and at least break even before you even see a profit. So they're the ones who sold, who got wrecked, who, want to give crypto a bad name. The same people who will basically feed into what Ben Trader is saying. And yeah, man, that buying and holding stuff doesn't work. No, it does work. It's worked in foreign markets. It's worked in Forex markets. It's worked with commodities. It's worked with, stocks. It's worked with bonds. It is a legitimate investment strategy. Now, what else I said about that was, while it is a plausible investment strategy, if you're comfortable enough, if you're skilled enough, if you're seasoned enough, maybe you also look into doing other investment strategies, day trading. And again, keep in mind, the more you move your money in and out of the market, the greater chance you have of losing it. But I said, along with buying and holding, you can day trade a certain size position. And if you're in a position where you're even able to trade on margin, you can even do that. And I'm getting crucified in this chat. I'm getting basically trying to be, maimed and, oh, Glenn, that doesn't work. That's a terrible idea. Why would you want to wait 10 years? And I'm thinking to myself, if Bitcoin here was $135, granted, there's probably a limited amount of people who had the foresight to be able to see and say, you know what, this thing's probably going to go to 1,000. And if it goes to 1,000, it's probably going to go to 10. And if it goes to 10, it could probably go to 20. Well, damn it, that's exactly what happened. And they're saying, well, why would I want to wait 10 years? Because waiting 10 years is a safe bet. You make one bad trade trading on margin, it's over for you. You make one bad trade day trading, it's over for you. Most day traders actually lose money. These aren't my words. You can look it up. If you've been in finance and if you've been around finance long enough, you know these things are true. Going back to a point that I made many, many videos ago, you have to be careful about the individuals who you get your information from, because a lot of these guys want you to believe that, oh, I drive exotic cars, I bang models, and, I never lose a trade. Dude, everybody is losing trades at some point or another, sometimes multiple times a day. Somebody is losing a trade, even the most seasoned guys. That's why a lot of people, they'll take their largest positions, they'll use it as a buy and hold for 10 years. And then they'll take, subsequent smaller positions and they use them to day trade or trade on leverage to try and add to the overall position of the portfolio, the overall value of the portfolio. And these guys, well, how do you know the market's even going to come up in 10 years? And I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know that it'll happen. I have a good feeling that it'll happen because you've got all these major institutions that are gearing up and they've spent millions of dollars, some of them tens of millions of dollars, to even position themselves to be in a situation where they can get in. These guys do not spend millions, tens of millions of dollars to position themselves to make a business deal with the hopes of losing money. If you don't think this market is going to be regulated and in 10 years it's going to be worth significantly way more than it is now, what are we at today, 130 billion? If you don't think this number in 10 years is going to be significantly greater than it is now, I don't know what to tell you. I want to say that you're high. You should probably get out of crypto, and this may not be the thing for you. The price of Bitcoin right now It's $3,858, give or take. Let's see. We can actually get a very real. Yeah, $3,666. I'm sorry. $3,795. If you or I got into a position where we could actually short Bitcoin, and let's say we shorted it down to, you know, a few $100, like, yeah, that's a nice payday for us. But these institutions are not going to spend millions of dollars to get in to short Bitcoin from its current position down to a few $100. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, but if I told you I don't believe that we'll see a 20,000 Bitcoin again at some time in the future, I'd be lying to you. If all these guys wanted to do was get in and short the price of Bitcoin, they wouldn't need to go the route that they're going now in terms of investing hundreds of millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars just to be in position to do so. Hell, there's people in the U.S. right now, I believe if you're using Bitfinex or Bittrex or one of those, you can short Bitcoin. And if you're outside of the U.S., there's other avenues where you can short Bitcoin. These guys wouldn't have to invest the money that they're investing just to short Bitcoin. These guys, they're getting in, they're spending various amounts of financial resources because they think they are going to turn a profit. So I'm not going to let people like Bitcoin, Ben Trader, try and spread fear through the market and say, oh, this market's going to zero. Make your money while you can. While I understand what he's saying, I'm not going to shit on anybody else who simply wants to use buy and hold as a legitimate strategy. Now, we'll go to the video here. We'll jump around. And there were a few people who were basically, you know, intelligent enough to understand what it was that I was saying. And were basically like, well, he's saying the same thing that you're saying in terms of, yes, can you use leverage to trade? Absolutely. However, buying and holding is not a terrible game plan either. So we'll skip around and we'll see if we can find some of the sound clips here.
What value is he adding? I'm trying to ask him a real question. He said that, and shout out to you, Golden Arm, once again for that $10 super chat. I appreciate it, bro. He's basically saying that a CEO of a company saying that he's getting in the crypto space.
Let me address this here. So this guy, he's talking about how the CEO of Fidelity had basically said, yep, we've been looking at crypto, we're getting into crypto. And even one of the individuals who is at Fidelity said, we've been mining Bitcoin since 2015 in secrecy. So he's asking me Ben here is asking me for the proof. And I'm like, so you don't pay attention to any of the articles being read. You don't pay attention to any of the news stories being covered. You just get on your little computer that doesn't even have dual monitors and I'll get into that in a minute. And you just get on here and you just try and fearmonger. But you don't know that the CEO of Morgan Stanley was behind, he basically gave the green light to acquire Poloniex so that they could come out with Circle to sell cryptocurrencies, which is one of the reasons why Poloniex started delisting so many coins, because they knew that those coins were not going to fit in a compliant regulatory framework. So you haven't researched any of this? You haven't seen any of this? If you don't know that that's what's being said and that that's what's being done, like, you shouldn't be in the crypto space. And I'm asking these people, even his mod, let's see, I can't find his name. They was basically saying, hey, well, give us some proof. I'm like, what do you want? Do you want a video? Do you want me to get the guy on the phone and say, hey, is it true that you guys are getting into cryptocurrency? Like, I'm not going to do your homework for you. If you're going to vehemently deny what it is that I'm saying, you need to have proof. What I'm saying, that the CEO of Fidelity, CEO of Morgan Stanley have basically said that they're getting into cryptocurrency, you need to have proof that that's not true. Because I have proof that it is true. These videos are out there. Members of the company basically stating that they've either been in crypto or they're getting into crypto is out there. The fact that we now know that Bakkt is coming out, and these are owned by the people who own the Dow Jones. Like, that information is public. What I'm more concerned about is the information that we don't know. If we know they're coming in, what other things are they working on that we haven't got wind of yet? That's the question you should be asking yourself. And if anyone has done their research, like I'm going to put together a compilation of all these people basically praising cryptocurrency and blockchain and, you know, basically saying that, yep, we see the value that it provides and because of which we're getting in. So that's basically what he's talking about here. And Mike Stu here is basically saying, where's the proof that he's even a CEO? I'm like, well, when you watch the videos or if you read the publications, they normally put the individual's title next to their name. You moron. So then we dig a little bit farther into the video, and what we really see here, the real issue comes out. If I had to guess, I'm not a psychology major or anything like that, but if I had to guess, I'd say this individual suffers from a variation of Napoleon complex, where he has to feel like he's the smartest individual in the room at all times. And if there's anyone who tries to challenge his conventional thinking or even maybe tries to add on to what he is saying, he views it as a threat. And I want you to pay attention to what he says next.
Is when you guys come on my channel, okay, and talk about certain things that you don't know about, okay, and you're trying to act like you're smarter than me and act like you know more than me.
There it is right there. Because an individual and multiple individuals in the chat were basically saying, yes, buy and hold is a plausible strategy that can work. This individual took it as people were saying and pontificating that they're smarter than him. That's him saying he doesn't even believe half of the shit he's saying. Because if it's me and I'm simply saying, well, you know what, trading on margin is a good way to earn money in the upfront, and someone says, yeah, but you know, buying and hold shouldn't be counted out, I'm not going to crucify that person and try to assassinate that person's character, and then later on in my stream very quickly gloss over the fact that, yeah, buying and holding, yeah, it's fine, but then still trying to assassinate this person's character. Ben Trader is a joke. I'm sure his course is crap. And I don't believe half of the accolades this individual says that they have, or a full-time trader, or any of that stuff.
You know, some of you guys just need to chill out. And look, Bitcoin dropping. I saw this Bitcoin's just spiked down to 37. Some of you guys need to chill out because all I'm trying to do is give you guys wisdom. Okay, I'm trying to give you guys knowledge. All right. I'm trying to give you guys 11 years of knowledge. Some of you guys are very new to this stuff. Never been through.
And you got this guy here who's basically saying, bro, please, time is never the same. It always changes. Crypto were made for freedom, nice grammar, and not governments. Now governments are coming in, form all sides into crypto. Taxes, regulation, everything. Is there anyone here who really ever thought that crypto was going to come out where you were going to circumvent the government and it was going to be some utopian society where, yeah, now you don't even have to use like the dollar. You don't look, if you thought you were going to be able to get on your computer, buy crypto and not have to interface with the government at all, like, you're an idiot. There have been many movements that have happened throughout the course of history. A lot of times the change that you're looking to enact, like, first of all, let's be real. 90% of people who are in crypto are in crypto because they understand this is the first asset class to have been created in the last well over 600 years, and they see the opportunity to make money. Why do you think everyone's asking when Moon, when Lambo? If it was just solely about crypto, no one would care about the price of the coin. You would just use it. And you yourself would be doing everything that you could to get the stores in your local neighborhoods, cities, states, territories to actually use these cryptos. And you wouldn't just solely leave it on the responsibility of the creators of the coins to do so. The majority of people are in crypto because they're thinking, wow, if this coin gets to price X, I'm going to be able to sell it, get into fiat, and I'm going to have money to buy a Lamborghini. So then I'll have a Lamborghini to impress girls so that girls will want to be intimate with me. The thought was never crypto's going to get so big and I'll never, like, come on, man. You can't have crypto wanting to be as big as it is, but at the same time wanting to have the dollar fail, but still wanting to be able to buy all the things that you want to buy. A lot of people are into crypto because they feel that this thing is one day going to blow up, the market cap is going to explode, and they'll be able to trade money into fiat and buy more stuff. So let's not talk about, oh, well, it was meant for, the people and to sidestep the governments and blah, like that was never going to fly. And if you ever believe that, like, I'm sorry. You understand if crypto ever gets to the point where, like, it's out of the government's control and we no longer have to apply to the rules that are currently, like, your backyard is probably going to be a war zone. It's probably going to be random marauders rolling around. It's going to be like some Mad Max type stuff. So just, like, let's be clear. You need these two systems to want to coincide with one another. I'm not one of these guys where it's like, oh my God, crypto's going to explode and I'm never going to have to pay taxes, F the government. No, dude. You know why? Because I want the military to continue to protect a nation's borders, no matter which nation. I'm into crypto because I believe it is going to make me money. I'm into crypto because I think blockchain technology is going to usher in a new age where you cannot fudge the system, you can't lie to it. It's going to keep things on a very even and honest playing field, hopefully. I like what crypto represents and what blockchain represents for the simple fact that as we continue to go on, like, you can't buy the same amount of things for $1 that you could in 1994. Or for a euro, or a pound, or an Egyptian pound, or a yen that you could in 1994. All right? So let's not kid ourselves for a second that we don't want the market to go up so that we can't buy nice things. We want the market to go up so we can buy nice things, so we can impress people that we really don't even care about. So that people can look at us and be like, oh my gosh, how'd you do it? You're the man. So miss me with all the, oh, this was supposed to blow up and not be used for governments and blah, blah. Like, dude, shut up.
No bear market, never, don't even do anything. All you do is just read news, and you're trying to come on here and act like you know more than me, okay?
See, that's what he's mad about. People come in here and they think that they know more than you. Well, if you're simply saying that buying and holding is not a plausible strategy and you don't want to admit to it wholeheartedly, and you maybe just want to gloss over it, yeah, maybe people do know more than you. Shout out to Darth Crypto. He, they put up a comment. Glenn out here hurting egos. That's why they taking shots at you. Never once have you thrown salt at them the way that they're doing to you. I mean, he's right. The mods, I would make my points. The mods would try and, like, mute me because, like, this guy right here, it didn't fall in with his conventional way of thinking or Ben Trader's conventional way of thinking. Like, I'm not worried about it. Like, we know who's going to be right in this instant. Like, if your sole purpose is to make money in the here and now and you're in a territory where you can trade on margin, yeah, do so. But understand one thing, like, you're probably going to end up losing money. And historically speaking, the people who have bought and held throughout the bear markets and added to their positions, not financial advice, but it added to their financial positions, history tells us those are normally the ones who win. Can you make money in the interim doing it the fast way? Yes, but easy cometh, easy goeth. And I'll show you guys a picture in a moment.
What happened 10 years ago? I don't care about the people that bought Bitcoin at $1. Okay? Those people, they got lucky.
No, they didn't get lucky. They were just in the know. They were amongst a group of people who kept their ear and their eyes paying attention on this kind of thing, and they took advantage while the iron struck. I fault no man, I fault no woman for getting into Bitcoin when it was 33 cents. I fault no man, I fault no woman for getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency when things were uber cheap. I only wish I was in that position. They didn't get lucky. They were in the right place at the right time. So to say you don't care about history and what happened in the past, but then later on in the video, or maybe even before this point, because this isn't exactly from the beginning. You guys, again, go look at the video if you want to. To say that you don't care about history, but then want to say that TA is this phenomenal thing and it's this important thing. Like, TA only works because you're looking at historical patterns. So you can't not care about history in one aspect and then care about history in another aspect. Like, the contradiction is real.
Fine, it is what it is. But if you're trying to compare or make a strategy based on that, bro, you have a lot to learn. Because if you think Bitcoin is going to continue to do that every single year, or every single 5 years, bro, you have a lot to learn. First of all, crypto space is...
Well, wait a minute. Well, we know normally when Bitcoin, it does run on patterns. We know that, traditionally speaking, and I don't remember now, but the events leading up to a Bitcoin halving, or the events leading up or shortly after a Bitcoin halving, is normally when we've seen these huge runs in Bitcoin's price. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up. You can look it up. You got who says your strategy only works in a bull market when golden cross is cleared. No, dude, look, if you buy and you hold, the market is going to do what a market does. Markets go through boom and bust cycles. So it's not that the strategy only works in a bull market. The strategy works because, listen, you can have a bull market. Let's say if you buy Bitcoin at current prices now, 8,700, and Bitcoin, and I'm not saying it's going to do this, but let's say if it does this, Bitcoin over time goes up to $100 million. And then it goes to a bear market where at the absolute lowest, that bear market goes to $300,000 or $3 million. Well, aren't you still up? So doesn't your strategy still work even though you're in a bear market because you simply bought now when prices were low? Of course it does. Buying and holding works because it allows you to buy in at cheaper prices. And then, yes, as the market does what it does and goes through its traditional boom and bust cycles, the price should increase. And when it does, you have your range of when you can sell and still be in profit, which is why you have people who are still selling right now at $3,700 and they're still turning a profit, assuming that they got in at cheaper prices, which has everyone wondering where in fact is the bottom. Like some of these guys, I don't know, man. Maybe some of them, some of these guys, they had the slow bus or the short bus when they were in school. I don't know.
So if Bitcoin continues to go up, you know what that means? That means that there's going to be trillionaires, okay? With a T. You really think the government is going to allow the regular Joes to be trillionaires?
I don't expect the governor or the government to allow anyone to become trillionaires. What I'm saying is when you look at, he's talking about with this being an unregulated space and people, if it does what we, myself and others think it will do, will become trillionaires. I don't think the government is going to let anyone do that. I'm simply saying you have people who got in, and again, when the market goes up and if they continue to hold, it's going to be inevitable. The government didn't let them do anything. They were simply in the right place at the right time, had the foresight to know where this thing was going based on the information that they were getting, no matter where they were getting it from. And yeah, if they sell at the top, then congratulations, they're going to be extremely well off. The amount of people who still don't know about cryptocurrency versus the amount of people who are in cryptocurrency, the amount of people who are in cryptocurrency compared to the people who don't know about cryptocurrency is still infinitesimal. That changes when you start to see cryptocurrency commercials on TV. That will change when every January or December, November through January, when it's time for you to meet with your money man at your company. You're looking at your 401k, or if you've got a major life event, you get married, you have kids, and you got to change, things on your paperwork. And they tell you, oh, we've got these new digital assets you can invest in, and you can put them in your 401k. At that point, it's game over, because at that point, now everybody knows about it. So yeah, I want to be and I'm sure other people want to be like everybody else who got in on Amazon when it was dirt cheap and now looking at where that price is at today. The government isn't going to let anyone do anything. These people are just in the right space at the right time. And I'm gonna show you guys this part of it. You can see here the mods had actually put me on mute for basically defending myself. Like, I'm not the kind of guy you're not gonna run me over. You're not gonna talk over me. Respect is earned where respect is given. And if this were a face-to-face situation and people had a problem with it, like, we could go outside and I'll give you 5 minutes. Like, I'm that guy. So the fact that just because you have a disbelief in your mindset doesn't go into conventional thinking and you don't necessarily subscribe to the same theory, when these people try and ban you, like, come on, man, that's weak. That is weak. I will never ban anyone on my channel for basically stating what they believe, as long as they're not spamming it, as long as they're not being offensive to others, making fun of anyone's racial background, sexual preference, creed, religious beliefs, anything like that. Which is why on none of my videos that I've posted do I like delete comments, do I ban people. Like, listen, if you don't believe what I believe in, that's fine. Time will tell, and one of us will be right and one of us will be wrong. But for these guys to go through an abuse of power and basically ban people because they don't subscribe to the same theory of thinking that they have or that this guy has, like, no, man, that's weak. And it's more telling of them than it is of us. So here's what he had to say about people's mentalities about buy and hold, even though buying and holding has proven to be a legitimate investing concept.
Jacked up. Okay? They don't have the correct belief system. They think that everything is all about buy and hold. Okay? Because society told them to buy and hold. The crypto community told them to buy and hold.
Now, later on in this video, I'm going to skip around. I'm going to see if I can find it. He actually says that buying and holding is fine. So 1 minute you've got a problem with buying and holding, and the next minute you want to admit that buying and holding is fine, and you want to try and assassinate the guy's character who basically said, yeah, buying and holding is fine, yet you can also have other investment strategies. To one point, I think this, yes, Kim G, I think she was saying that, hey, you guys are kind of saying the same thing, but your ego is getting in the way of allowing you to understand that you and Glenn are basically saying the same thing. So, Kim G, if you're watching, shout out to you.
Making money now. Okay, and they don't care about the next 20 years.
That's bullshit. That's bull. The rich do care about the future, which is why they put money in long-term, traditional performing, appreciating assets. If anything, the rich people, the wealthy people, they think more about the long term than people who don't have money, because people who don't have money only think about things in the next 5 minutes. The people with money, they're playing the long game. They're thinking about things in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. What a joke. So then we've got this guy, Thomas Kano. You might have been replying to somebody's comment up here. Oh, yep, who knew? Thomas Kano. Reading won't make you profit. A strategy does. Knowing those cycles, knowing how the market works, knowing how the market charts, work, knowing the volume, knowing the candles, that is your success. Again, I never said it wasn't. I said TA was important. But what I'm simply saying is buying and holding is traditionally an investment strategy that has proven to be fairly well for a lot of people. I'd even like to see if it's been more successful than using margin trading or day trading. Because, again, we know those people, they lose money, and sometimes they lose their asses, and they lose them a lot. And Thomas Candle down here, he basically says, LOL, looking at Glenn's comments, I don't think he's a hardcore believer. He never once said buying and holding was the only way, which is true. I never said that. Never said it.
So you are 100% correct.
All right, so I want to look at a couple things quick here. Black J19 basically said, he was replying to Thomas Cano, I don't get it either, because margin trading will get you killed, but Glenn is the bad guy for saying, hey, buying and holding can work too, saying in conjunction to other investment strategies, buying and holding can work too. I've done it since 08 and killed last year and this year. Okay, so here's someone basically saying buying and holding works very well. It's worked for them, and they made a killing last year and this year. Now, to solidify that point and to solidify my point, let's listen to what Hack Ben Trader has to say.
I never said hold at all, okay? If you want to buy and hold, fine. I told you that. I said that shouldn't be your number one strategy because it's going to come to a time, it's going to come, a time where the market.
But hasn't Crypto Glenn been saying that same thing throughout the duration of this video? Buying and holding is a plausible investment strategy, yet you can also use other investment strategies. And here I am, still on timeout by the shoddy mods in the chat because I was going against what he was saying and saying, hey, this can work also. And he literally just proved my point, just agreed with me. Now, this whole entire situation doesn't bother me, but what bothers me is in order for us to move forward as a crypto community, you cannot discount what people are saying simply because it does not fit into your frame of thinking at that point in time. Because as time goes on, theories change, people's belief systems change. So I'm not going to, minimize Ben Trader for his beliefs. But what I will say this, like, the major problem I have with him and his channel and his mods is that they basically try and assassinate anyone who doesn't subscribe to their same conventional way of thinking at that time, and I think it's a very flawed ideology. Like, I know what I've invested in. I know how my investments have been performing this year. I'm not brand new to finance yet, nor am I a whiz. But I'm fairly decent at connecting dots and spotting patterns, to which has worked in my favor over my lifetime. So that's all I wanted to show you guys, really, for the most part. Again, just be mindful of where you're getting your information from. These people, like, just be careful. There's not really too much going on in the market right now. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, other videos that you guys want me to put on, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Shout out to everybody who has subscribed. The channel is growing. Let's try and aim for, light cap 100 before the second week in January. Somewhat of a new channel. Only really came on the scene last year. I want to say thank you to everyone who reaches out to us on Twitter, everyone who reaches out to us on YouTube, and everyone who leaves a comment in the comment section below, good, bad, or indifferent. And especially thank you to everyone who gives the video a likes up. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.